What's up, Keto Class? Here again to share some information with you guys. Facebook has changed this whole little live situation up, so I'm learning it. I don't even know if I was live at that moment, so I'm going to say hey again. Welcome to the Keto Class. So today I'm going to talk about 5 keto mistakes. So please, as always, as you come in, let me know who you are and where you're checking in from. It's always neat to see that we have people from all over the world who check into the Keto Class. I've been working really hard on just getting the classes recorded and all in one place so when new people come, they can go and they can just watch those classes. And then that could be, a place where they can go see all the classes, get all the information, and then maybe they can get some coaching or come here and get some additional information there. So, I've been working real hard on that, y'all, getting that out there. And y'all see I've been sharing my cookies and and everything out there as well. So I don't know if I can see you guys when you come in. So I'm just gonna say hey over here and let everybody know to check in. So check in as you enter. There you go. So check in as you enter. I'm going to talk about the 5 keto mistakes, the biggest mistakes that a lot of people are making on the ketogenic lifestyle that I've found over the years. It's very interesting. My phone is over here ringing. So it's very interesting that people tend to make these mistakes, and a lot of people tend to do it. So the first one is obsessing over the scale. That's the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, because if you have done the ketogenic lifestyle long enough, or if you've seen anyone's success, a person who's lost 20 pounds usually looks like they lost 50. So, and the reason being is because the ketogenic lifestyle is a fat burning program, and it literally will burn fat in all the places that you have it. So as you may know, everyone has different body types and body styles. So some people will have fat in areas where other people may not. Like for me personally, I had a lot of belly fat, like a beer belly, and didn't even drink beer, right? So my stomach used to just kind of stick out, and that was where all my fat was. So my 30 pound loss looked like a whole lot more. So don't obsess over the scale. You will lose a lot more inches around your waist and around your arms and things like that than you will even realize. So, hey, I see Sandra checking in good. So at least I know I'm not by myself, right? At least I know I'm not doing this for nothing, right? So thank you, Sandra, for popping in and saying hello. It always nice to know that somebody's out there. With this new system, I can't see it the same way. So I can't even tell like how many people are viewing or if anybody's viewing or not. So I'll learn this new system that Facebook has over time. So the first thing, don't obsess over the scale, y'all. I know that's like the hardest thing to do. People get so caught up in how much they weigh and the scale. And it's hard for me to teach that, because I know for me, my thing was, it motivated me to get on a scale every day. That was my motivation, to be able to lose weight. But I use it as a positive. I didn't use it as a negative. So if you're going to use the scale, don't use the scale as a negative to say, oh, I only lost 1 pound, I'm not doing it. Like if you're going to, if I use the scale to keep me from gaining weight. So if I ever went up a couple pounds because I had gotten off the track or something like that, the scale would always motivate me to get back on track. It never was the opposite for me. So it was never, well, man, I've only lost 1 pound. I never had that attitude. So I want you not to have that attitude. And if you're going to use the scale on the daily, then use it just to make sure you don't gain. You're not gaining weight if it kind of motivates you not to gain weight. So if you can use it in that sense, I think it's a good thing. But otherwise, weighing yourself once a week is more than enough. Don't obsess over the scale. You will lose a lot more inches than you will weight. So I've seen women, they gone from dress sizes that were like 12s and 14s down to single digit dress sizes. So, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, weight or no weight, if you can go from 14 to a 12 to a single digit dress size, that's a huge loss and a gain at the same time, right? So you said you heard that you have to check the scale on every 2 months. No, I mean, Sandra, more so the real gauge is how you feel and how your clothes fit. Even if you just imagine that we just took scales out of the picture totally. So just think about how your clothes fit. That's going to be the real measure. right there. That's going to be the real measure. Because I mean, literally, I only lost, and I say only, which is kind of crazy. I only lost like 30 pounds. And because I'm like 6'4", I've always been about 200 pounds. And like my prime weight, at my prime, I was like 225, because maybe about 20 to 25 pounds of that was muscle. So as I got older, that muscle turned to fat. So, you know, don't worry about that scale, that every 2 months thing. I mean, I think one time a week is decent, depending on you. I mean, we could talk one-on-one, but depending on you, if you're a person that obsesses about it, then maybe you should. But I would say focus on how you feel, how your clothes feel when you are getting dressed, and you'll start to feel your clothes start to change, and the sizes start to feel different. And you'll start to, like me right now, everything I have is so baggy. I used to wear 2X, 3X, everything. Like if I put a 2X on, like I'm wearing my father's clothes when I was in like elementary, right? Like I really looked silly. And I had to really start changing my whole wardrobe around. And not only that, but we started going to this European cut style, right? Fashion wise, right? So now I really look crazy in baggy clothes because everybody's wearing European cut now. So, you know, I really, the clothes is going to be you're going to be your real judge, and how things fit. Even I've heard women tell me how their shoes have even changed, like how they can wear the heels and things like that they couldn't wear. So little things like that, I think, will be more important than the scale itself. And I share this picture all the time of a woman that was like 155, and she was 155 and overweight. And then when she lost her weight, she was still 155. And I had the picture side by side, but you could see the definition in her body changed. Even though she had the same exact weight. Now, granted, she was a person that was lifting weights and doing like a lot of exercise along with it. So that's why her weight, 155 match. If I can find that picture quickly, I'll I'll post it. It's probably somewhere in there. If you just go to photos and scroll, it's a lady. She's wearing like a black like workout type gear, and I think it's like a one that's got like almost looks like a little skirt type workout gear. She's an older lady, probably in her 50s. Late 40s or 50s. So take a look at that if you get a chance. So number one, don't obsess over the scale. All right. So let me look at the comments. So Marina says, hey, Marina from Michigan. Thanks for popping in and checking in. That's important. The check-in is important because it gives me motivation to know that you guys are out there, and to know that it's someone outside of my world as well, which is in Baltimore, Maryland. So number two, some people are not getting enough healthy fats. And I think that's the hardest part to train your brain on, because the healthy fats is the one thing that we've been taught for so long that fats are bad. Don't eat fat. You know, fat's not good. And, you know, we've been avoiding it, and we went to low fat and all of that type stuff. And in the United States, as we went to low fat, everybody got fatter, right? So you'll always hear me tell a story about Ansel Keys. I tell that story all the time about how he really concocted this whole thing. And I mean, he had to have been some type of genius, because he concocted this whole thing to sell statin drugs, because he knew that if he told people to eat low fat, their cholesterol would balloon out of control. He knew that. And it's so crazy that he had this knowledge and concocted this whole thing. And trust me, you don't have to believe me, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but Time Magazine did 3 articles on this thing. The first article they did on him early on when he first came up with the low fat stuff, and then they did 2 articles basically denouncing him. So you basically got to go take a look at that, man. It's real crazy. So he created this in order to sell statin drugs, which he's done a great job of doing, because statin drugs are probably majority of people who have weight issues are on some type of statin drug to lower their cholesterol. And that's one of the fears of keto is, oh, well, eating the fat mess up my cholesterol? No, it's actually the opposite. It's actually because there's 2 types of cholesterol. And I've done the LDL, HDL class as well. That's actually in my recorded class that I have, that you can get that class and watch that. The LDL is the lousy cholesterol. The HDL is the healthy cholesterol. But what happens is when you start to eat healthier fat, the healthier cholesterol increases. And the healthier cholesterol is the cholesterol that cleans up the bad cholesterol. So I don't want to get too sciencey, but like and when I do the PowerPoint in the class, you can see it. It's actually 2 men. It's like 2 guys, and one is sticky and one is like a cleanup guy. And they basically, the HDL cleans up the arteries. And then there's also a good component to the LDL. And I talk about that. I lay that all out in that class. So there's a good component to the LDL. So the whole story has not been being told. But fat is very important. It's very important for your brain health. And that's exactly why when you get on the ketogenic lifestyle, your mental clarity is just so much better. And so for those of y'all who don't know, I'm a basketball coach. Hey, Jeanette, thanks for popping in. She said, sorry, she's late. No, hey, no worries. I'm glad you made it. So y'all know I'm a basketball coach, and I always tell everybody that on game day, I want to be in ketosis because my mental clarity is just so much better. Like it's just popping because your brain needs that healthy fat. It needs the healthy fat, and those ketones actually, they inspire thought. They inspire your brain to work a little bit better. So healthy fat is important, and we talk about healthy fat being nuts, seeds, fish. Those are like the holy grail of the healthy fats. Avocados. If you like avocados, you should eat an avocado, at least half an avocado to one avocado a day. That's the way to get it done. So fats are very important. Don't get caught up in the old school way of thinking. And if you don't believe me, just go Google Ansel Keys and you will see the whole story, because I am far from a conspiracy theorist. Far from it. Far, far, far from it. But this story has always amazed me on how he concocted this whole thing to sell statin drugs. And it literally worked for like 30 years. Like 30 years. And most of you guys that are here are above 30. So you know that probably as you grew up, you were always eating low fat, and your parents were probably buying low fat yogurts and all kinds of other things that were full of sugar, right? So they took all the fat out of it, but then they loaded it up with sugar. Crazy. It's crazy, right? So number 2 is not getting your healthy fat. So make sure you're getting your healthy fats. And again, fish, nuts, seeds, avocados are the holy grail for that. 3, not I don't want to say start with not, but getting too much protein. So getting too much protein is a mistake that a lot of people make. And a huge mistake that they make is that they go get protein shakes. That drives me completely nuts. People go out and buy protein shakes. Protein is probably the easiest thing to get because we know where to get protein because we've been taught to eat protein all our life. You get protein from meat. So you can always find protein. So I'd suggest don't go buy a protein shake. If you need some type of a shake, and I think I got it back here. This is what I use, and I show this to people all the time. This is mine. The keto fuel. This is it. I mean, this is a keto shake. It's got the right keto macros. It has fat in there. I'll try to put that back later. So it has fat in there, as well. It has the proper amount of fat, the protein, the carb count in it. So if you're going to get a shake, get a keto shake. You know what I mean? And that's the one I use, and that's the one that I had people on the program that have lost massive amounts. I have people who've lost over 100 pounds using that keto shake. So don't get too much protein, y'all. You cannot go get too much protein. You know where to get protein. Get protein from meat. All right. So don't go out and buy no protein shakes because there's a process. And I always encourage you to go look some things up. There's a process, and I'm going to look here to see the comments. I'm missing a few people. I'm sorry I didn't scroll up. I see Anad out there. What's up? I see Lita. Hey, Lita. Says sorry, just getting on. See Miss Ellaby. Miss Ellaby. I always call them Miss Ellaby teachers, right? So we got to get back at it tomorrow on some online teaching, right? So Miss Ellaby, I like to tell her story. She said, nice to see you again. Yes, you too, right? After being off for so long. Miss Ellaby knocked on my classroom door one day, right? And she was like, listen, I've seen what you're doing online. I need to lose weight. I need that stuff. And she can put in here, if she's still there, how much she actually lost. I always say it's about 50 or 60 pounds, but it might be somewhere else. But she lost a lot of weight. She's been running marathons and everything. So, I mean, that was just an amazing story. And I'm always glad that it's a friend, that somebody that you know who actually trusts it. She did the program too. She actually used that shake. She still uses it to this day. And so I think she's been doing the program for over a year now, maybe close to 2. And maintain her weight loss. So don't go get protein shakes. That's where I was going with that. Protein shakes will get you 56 pounds. She lost 56. Hey, Michelle Voris, my buddy Michelle Voris. Love to see you. So you don't need the protein shakes, as I was telling you. The shake that Miss Ellaby lost her 56 with, Michelle, you can put Michelle. How much did you lose? Michelle used this program as well. She lost a lot, and I'm gonna get off of this. Michelle, pop it in there. How much you lost? Michelle Voris has changed her life. She's running around with her daughter who's playing sports and stuff. So, I love to see those pictures of her and her daughter out there. Her daughter's playing basketball, a basketball coach. So I taught her everything she know, Michelle. All right. So the protein, don't overdo it. There's a process called gluconeogenesis. And I know I get off on my rants. There's a process called gluconeogenesis. So you can go look it up, where protein converts back into carbohydrates, because our body is so amazing. It is so amazing that it says, we're not getting carbohydrates, but you gave me so much protein, I'll just convert that into carbohydrates. And then people are wondering why they don't have the weight loss that they want, because they're eating too much protein. So don't overdo the protein. And we can talk about the numbers. The numbers percentage wise is kind of tough, but I usually say no more than like a fistful of protein per meal. You want to make sure that you always have healthy fat on the plate. Always have healthy fat. So whatever meal you eat, you want to make sure you have fat. If you have trouble getting fat, make some fat bombs. You can eat like 2 of those. I always say 2 is max. I know some people would just like, don't matter. They just eat however many they want. But I always say that 2 is like the max, to not overdo it, but still get some healthy fats. I do have a little fat bomb book that I made. It's got like 3 recipes in there. I'm working on building it. But if you want it, just message me and I'll make sure you get it. It's got like 3, and I got some other stuff. I got some other books as well that have some stuff in it. So that's number 3. So number 1, don't obsess over the scale. The scale will get you messed up. Susan says, I lost weight since I have been home. Keto, fuel, burn, etc. Yeah. We ain't talk about the burn either, right? The burn is awesome, because right now people are overeating. So the burn will actually help alter your appetite. So that is a great thing. So where was I? So number 1, don't obsess over the scale. Number 2, make sure you're getting enough healthy fats. And number 3, do not get too much protein. So let's look at number 4. Some people are not getting enough electrolytes. So the electrolytes you get from salt, basically, and your magnesium. So definitely the avocado will help you get some of that magnesium as well. So the avocado is great. You also can supplement that. If you want to know what supplements to use, then you can message me about that, and I can tell you about those to help you get those healthy electrolytes. I also have an electrolyte drink that I drink. Do I have it there? Yep. Sport and Go. This is my favorite. Sport and Go. I'm all off the camera. Sport and Go. So I've used that. That's my electrolyte drink, and it's 100% keto. It's much better than Gatorade. Gatorade has too much sugar in it and mostly no electrolytes. So, they try to pump it like it does, but it really doesn't have a lot in there. So make sure you get enough electrolytes. If you happen to start cramping, then just add some extra salt to your food, because we've been used to eating so having our diets be so salty, that we probably have never really had those problems. But once you go keto, you might not realize it, but you don't eat as much salt. So even if you just get some sea salt or some of that pink sea salt as well, and just put it on something, that will help, or even just put it in water and drink the water, that will help. But if you like electrolyte drink, then let me know. Those help too. So eating hidden carbs is number 5. So number 4 was not getting enough electrolytes. Number 5 is eating hidden carbs. You do not want to eat the hidden carbs, because the hidden carbs will get you. And usually the I'm gonna kind of alter this a little bit, because it's hidden carbs and hidden sweeteners. Because a lot of times these companies are putting calling things sugar free, but then they put sweeteners in there that respond to in your body just like sugar. So it's pointless. So you have to make sure, and I do have a sweeteners class as well in that course that I recorded. And it breaks down all of the sweeteners that you can use and you cannot use, because it's so intricate that if you're trying to figure it out for yourself, like I was in the beginning, it's kind of tough, which is the reason why I teach these classes. So make sure you stay away from the hidden carbs. The thing I always tell everyone is I was eating oatmeal, and I have no clue what in my brain made me believe that oatmeal was keto. So like, I have no idea what made me, I guess because I like oatmeal and it's always been deemed as being healthy. So I was eating oatmeal every single day. And the crazy part is I was still losing weight. I was still losing weight because I was doing the shake and I was doing the burn. I was doing all that stuff. And I was still losing weight eating oatmeal every single day. So that was a hidden card. So I probably could have lost a lot more faster. My man Scott, who comes on here all the time, we were talking and I was kind of coaching Scott, and Scott was telling me that he was eating bananas. He was eating bananas every day, and there's 25 grams of carbs in every single banana. So if y'all still with me, put a 1 in there or something so I know, because I can't even see how many people are watching with this new system. I'm gonna just click around here for a second, see what I can see. I don't want off the screen now. I don't want to do that. So just put a 1 down there if you're still with me, so I know that y'all are still out there. I'm about to close this out. So just make sure you're not eating the hidden carbs. You want to get the majority of your carbs from veggies. So you want to get your carbs from veggies. So, okay, I thank you, Lita. I see Lita still out there. Appreciate that. So Susan, I'm here. All right, Sandra. All right, good to see y'all. Keep pumping them in there. All right. So I know y'all still out there with me. I'm about to close out. I try to keep these, and I know I'm talking real fast tonight because I'm trying to keep these shorter so that people to keep people's attention. So eating hidden carbs, keep your carbs to veggies. Be careful. You want to always look at the labels and see how many carbs are in it. And I know I posted something earlier this week about how to count, how to get your net carbs. If there's something that has like 25 or 30 carbs and then it's like 1 net carb, I never trust that. So I wouldn't trust that. And what I always do is I usually would just kind of like cut it in half. So if I see something like that and it's like 25 grams of carbs and then it tells you it's like 15 grams of fiber and like 5 grams of erythritol, then usually I'll just cut that in half. So if it's 25, I'll just say, all right, I'm just going to say it's 12. I'm getting 12 grams of carbs. So even if it is like supposedly 1, and that's a good way of not getting a lot of hidden stuff. So those bars and stuff, they got a high amount, I usually kind of stay away from. So you said spinach and kale are good for keto. Yes, indeed. They are excellent for keto. Spinach and kale are excellent for the ketogenic lifestyle, Sandra. Definitely want to do as much spinach and kale as you want. And I usually tell people, don't really worry about counting your carbs when it comes to veggies. Unless you start to get to a point where you're just not losing anymore and you kind of got to stall, then we got to start looking at the macros a little bit better. But those who know me know my main thing is keep your carbs under 20. So whatever it might be, keep your net carbs under 20. So if you're going to eat one of them little bars, remember my rule is to cut it in half. If it's up in the 20s, cut it in half. So you're getting like 12. You can't say I'm only getting 1 net carb. So that way you keep your carbs under 20. If you keep those carbs under 20, you're going to lose weight. I promise you're going to lose weight, especially newbies. Most of the people that I get started with in the beginning, especially with the full program, those people usually lose somewhere around 10 pounds in that first week. And that's granted, that's not everybody, because it all depends as well what you've done up until that point and where you are health-wise up until that point. So thank you guys again for popping in here. If you got any questions, y'all know, feel free to inbox me. I'm always here to chat with you guys, or you can just put it in the group, because we actually have people in the group who are very, very knowledgeable. I know Tiva's not, she's not as active in here as she used to be, but she's very knowledgeable, always answering questions. Scott, he's always been really good about answering questions. You see Susan, who has been working with me for like 2 years, she might know something that, you might have an answer to your question. You know what I mean? So there are people in the group who have been doing the lifestyle who may have answers to your question, and I always verify. I'll always, either like it or verify any questions that are there. And if you want to know directly by me, then you can inbox me. If you're not my friend on Facebook, send me a friend request, so that way I got you on my regular page too. So, that's always a good thing. So number 1, don't obsess over the scale. Number 2, people are not getting enough healthy fats. That's a huge mistake. Number 3, they're eating too much protein. That's gluconeogenesis. Look it up and you'll see. Number 4, not getting enough electrolytes. We got solutions for electrolytes, salt, electrolyte drinks, things like that. And then number 5, eating hidden carbs. So stay away from the hidden carbs. I appreciate y'all for popping in here. I'm glad y'all got here tonight. Share this class out in any of your keto groups or anybody who you think might be interested in learning more about the ketogenic lifestyle. With all of this going on, I've had a lot more time to focus on this, and this has truly been one of my focuses is building this group up and just providing more and more value inside the group, because I feel like this is one of my niches. It's like one of the things I'm half decent at, right? Is teaching the ketogenic lifestyle, because I'm a teacher by trade. And this is something that I'm passionate about because it's helped me. And some of you may have heard the story about I had high blood pressure. I literally almost passed out one day and I had to find a way to change some things around. And this was one of the ways. So I love teaching it and helping other people change their lives. So thanks again, y'all. And I hope I will see you guys sometime this week with some more tips. And I definitely will be posting some value inside the group all week. And I encourage you to do the same thing. I encourage you to post in the group just as much as I post in the group, because the group is bigger than me. So thanks again, y'all. And I will see you guys later. And thanks once again. And I'm going to say, as I usually do, good night. And see y'all soon.